Heavy rains in Gauteng last night left parts of Lenasia south of Soweto flooded. Emergency services in Johannesburg have been on the ground assisting affected residents. And let's bring in spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi to paint a better picture for us. Mr. Mulaudzi, many thanks for your time this afternoon. Perhaps just explain to us the severity of the damage that we're seeing in these areas, as well as any injuries that you and the services have picked up on.
Yes, we can confirm that we responded to a flash floods incident reported in the area of Lenasia, Extension 1, where a number of houses were affected by the floods. You know, water coming into most of the houses, especially the house on the outline where those flash floods are mostly affected those areas. We're just happy that we didn't have any injuries which were caused by the flash flood. Our swift water rescue unit are on site assisting those affected households, of which our concern is that if we do receive a lot of rainfall overnight, we might have a number of houses being affected. Hence, we have activated other city stakeholders so that we can be able to manage the situation. We also received reports of some flash floods in the area of Protea Glen, where a number of houses were affected, mainly the walls, you know, around the fence, they actually collapsed, of which even in Protea Glen, we didn't receive any reports of any injuries. So we've activated our disaster management officials who are on site, also trying to assess as to how many, the number of houses which might have been affected, and also what kind of assistance we be able to assist those affected households.
Yeah, are you speaking about deploying extra resources to manage the situation? And I just want to understand exactly what some of those plans are to manage the situation. You're saying you are anticipating further flash floods. If tonight we get rains again. So what is the emergency services plan to make sure that they protect the people and avert as much of the damage as possible?
Yeah, at this stage, we didn't have to. We have to manage the water flow of that water in that area so that we prevent excessive, flash flood in the area. At this stage, we have not yet removed or evacuated those households along that stream, which is mostly flooded. However, in other areas like Protea Glen, we managed to control the water flow in the area, but we have realized that in most of our river streams, mainly your Jackske, your Gulffontein, and also Klip Valley, the water levels are rising. So we're also concerned about those areas to say that our residents in those areas need to make sure that they try and monitor young kids to stay away from playing next to those river streams, since we know that the water levels are higher. In terms of us being emergency services and other city stakeholders, we remain on high alert to make sure that we can be able to respond to any emergency which might occur overnight, which might be water-related emergencies. Of course, our swift water rescue unit remains on the ground, and all our 30 fire stations throughout the city of Johannesburg are fully operational. So we should be able to respond to all the emergencies which might occur overnight.
Right, and you're speaking about evacuations. Very briefly, should there be an evacuation, are there enough places of safety to take residents for temporary shelter?
Yes, we should be able to do that through our disaster management office. We should be able to arrange that if there is a need for us to evacuate people. We've got emergency shelters throughout the city of Johannesburg, which we can be able to house affected families if there's a need for us to do so. But for now, we're happy that we haven't reached that stage whereby we have to evacuate people. But if there's a need for us to do so, we should be able to do so through our disaster management office.
Johannesburg Emergency Services spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi giving us an update on those flash floods in Soweto. We do have a team on the way to Lenasia, so we'll be bringing you the very latest on that story as it unfolds.